Hi, my name is Garrett Thompson. It's been a very long time, but this is episode 15 of the Dorm Room Sports Podcast. It's been a month. It has been actually almost a month because I was going to record a podcast on July 1st in that kind of territory. So it's almost been a full month since I've even really thought about recording a video, because I made the video. It was going to be episode 15. This would have technically been episode 16, but I looked at the episode 15, I watched it a couple of times, and I was just like, you know what? Maybe not, maybe just give it some time. I've been crazy busy working and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to be like, you know what, let's give it some time. We'll see what happens, because it was only the beginning of the free agent market and all the trades going on. I believe I was going to post the video July 5th. And as we know, there's been a lot going on. There's a lot going on in between July 1st and now, but July 5th and now there's more going on. I'm going to talk about some stuff that happened right away. I'm going to talk about some Leaf stuff, because I actually want to talk about some Leaf stuff. And we're just gonna see what happens. This is the first video. This is the first video going on for a while, and I'm excited to get back into it, because this season coming up as well is going to be my first full season doing the podcast, because we only started in March, which was the tail end of the season, going into the playoffs, and then whatever happened over the summer. So this is going to be really cool to be able to see what we can get into during the season, doing a trade deadline, doing something about maybe the All-Star game, doing something about just generally the season, and maybe some big things that go on during it. Big trades, big this, big that, whatever it is to come. Big plans for it, but let's take this one little step at a time. We've got a lot to cover. I want to get right into it. We're going to talk about some trades. We're going to talk about briefly. We're going to talk about as much as we can comfortably in 20 minutes. That's what we're going to do. We're going to see what happens, and if I can't cover it all now, we'll cover it. We'll do another one. We'll do another one probably within the next week. Probably next week. We'll record one and see what's happened. Talk about some more, and then as we do more and more throughout this month, we'll be getting ready for the season too. We'll be starting to tee up for the season, which is going to be a lot of fun. So to get right into it, the Leafs have been quite busy. We've obviously gotten Cody Ceci. That's going to be that's a good add. That's a third defensive line player. He also played, this is interesting, because I talked to my friend about this, and how I would describe it is, I get it. He was on a team he was on the Ottawa Senators. They're not good. We all know that. I've expressed myself on that to numerous people in the videos. I just I get it. He was good on a team that was bad, but I wouldn't pay him $4.5 million. I would pay him obviously over $1 million, obviously over $2 million. I would probably put him to 2.5. Now, I think that I would put him at 2.5, let him prove himself this year, and then pay him big depending on how he plays. 2.5 to 3 million. That's where I would give him, ballpark area kind of thing. We sent away a very decent group of guys over to Ottawa. We sent them Connor Brown, Nikita Zaitsev, and then that was in the trade, because we got Harper and Ceci, but we gave them Zaitsev, and we gave them Connor Brown as well. Now, I'm very happy we got rid of Zaitsev. I don't know how I feel about us getting rid of Connor Brown, but you never know. Maybe he'll get more of a chance to shine, because he was a bit he was overshined by, obviously, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, everybody. Obviously, in the beginning, he was still third line, but he was still a decent part of our team. He was a decent part of our team, and he really got overlooked by a lot of people a lot of the time, because he just wasn't, I guess, at that level, but still a valuable player. But I think he'll do well in Ottawa. I hope he does. I hope the best for him. I don't think anybody hated him at all. I don't think anybody was get him out of here. It was more get Zaitsev out of here, and he just got tagged. He got taken along with Zaitsev to make it a bit more of a juicier deal going back to Ottawa. They also got Tyler Ennis, Ron Hainsey. Ron Hainsey signed a huge contract $3.5 million going to Ottawa for a year. Like that's crazy. The Leafs also got Jason Spezza, which is huge. That's an interesting contract. That's an interesting deal. We only signed him for a year. He's a local Toronto boy. Honestly, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was from Toronto or like the surrounding area of Toronto. I didn't know that. I thought he was from out west because like, I don't know, he just seems like an out west kind of guy, but like he's from Toronto. That's sick. He was really excited to come here, which is going to be really cool. I like to see guys who are from here excited to come and play here. Like a lot of the time, guys who are local here always want to play here and always want to sign here. But apparently that number 16 doesn't feel like doing that right now. I don't know if it's him. I honestly think it's more like, honestly, it feels like his agent isn't a Leafs fan. Like, I honestly feel like his agent is like probably a Canadiens fan or something and just doesn't want his client, as skilled as he is, to sign with the Leafs and just really wants to egg this on to see if he can weasel Marner out of playing in Toronto. Honestly, that's just like a joke. That's like a joke thought I've had, but really thinking about it, like, imagine if that's true, and imagine if his agent just isn't a Leafs fan and just doesn't want him to play here, or like it's at that point where we're just thinking of stupid solutions to the problem. Like, why hasn't he signed yet? This is so quickly turning into a Nylander situation when we really, really, really thought it wouldn't. Like, they're honestly talking about, is Marner even going to play at the start of the season? We were talking about this last year with Nylander. Look where it ended up. He did not sign until December. We need Marner. We need Marner to sign now. I want Marner signed before middle of August. I want him signed before middle of August. I'm going to lose it if we don't sign him by the middle of August. I really would. Like, I'm just like, it's at that point where like we're so fed up with guys taking their sweet time to sign a contract. Like, we've given you what we think you're worth. Sign the contract. He's not going to get, like, we've all kinds of other podcasts have talked about it. Overdrive on TSN has talked about it. Marner is not going to get, they didn't think Marner would get the same kind of money anywhere else. He's not going to get compared to Matthews anywhere else, is what they said. And I thought that was an interesting point, and I'm going to try to put my spin on it. I think that Marner is an $8.5 to $9 million player, and here's why. I don't know why. Like, I really try to figure out why they're trying to give him $11 million. He's amazing. He's an amazing hockey player. I love him, and I'm absolutely grateful he's on the Toronto Maple Leafs, because if he wasn't on there, that would be a very big key that we do not have. But he's not worth as much as Matthews. He's not. He's not worth as much as Matthews. Matthews is a generational talent, so is Tavares. We signed those guys based on like like Kyle Dubas signed those guys based on what he thought they were worth. I think we should sign Marner to $9 to $9.5 million for long term. I'm not signing him. I would not want to sign him for 11. The fact that we got David Clarkson in a trade where we traded away Garrett Sparks. Thank you, Lord, we traded away Garrett Sparks. I've been screaming about that for so long as well. There's a video, I forget what number it is, but I literally just went on a rant about Garrett Sparks. It was actually quite satisfying. But looking, like, I remember it came across my phone, and I was very happy because we got rid of Garrett Sparks. And he said, like the whole thing where what he said in Ottawa, where he's like, a boy's got to step up. Buddy, your save percentage is .875. I would not be saying a word to anyone about stepping up and playing your role. You're fed up, but like people are fed up with how you're playing. You got to step up. And then obviously they kicked him. Hutchinson came in. We're going to have quite the goalie battle coming back, because it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be Michael Neuvirth, who we signed to a PTO. We're going to have Michael Hutchinson fighting for that job. I think it's going to be a two-dog fight. Looking at it, I think Neuvirth would win that battle, But I think that Hutchinson would definitely get... I don't know, like, they're both good. They're both good goalies. They both have NHL experience. They both know, like, they both are comfortable in, like, getting numerous starts in a row. We showed Hutchinson got numerous starts in a row, and he played great. He played really, really well. Neuwirth got several starts in a row for Philadelphia. He put a good string of wins together. He put a good string of games together in general. I think that we've really recovered, I think, a little bit in the goaltending department. Initially, we can probably, like, we've got, like, in the AHL, with Neuwirth brought up, we've got Hutchinson, we've got Kaskisuo, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and then we got, like, the ECHL with McAdam and everybody down there. They won the ECHL championship, which was really cool. Now, if they can do that, like, so, fun fact, every single team, like, every single Toronto-related team has won in the last 2 years. We need one more team to do something. One more team. That team there. That team needs to do something. If we, obviously, like, I want them to win. I want them to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup more than I want anything else in life. But also, I just really want them to make it out of the first round. Make it out of the first round. The last time they made it out of the first round, I was 5 years old. I was 5. I was in grade 1 the last time they made it out of the first round. I was in grade 1, man. Grade 1. I'm going into my second year of college. The last time they made it out of the first round, I was 1. I was grade 1. That's not good. We need to move. We need to do something here. We've got the team. We signed Tyson Barrie. We traded away Nazem Kadri, but we signed Tyson Barrie. We got Alex Kerfoot. That's our third line centerman. Tyson Barrie. He's going to go on a line with Morgan Rielly. Oh, fourth ranked defenseman with Morgan Rielly. Oh my, like, Tyson Barrie was their first liner. He's going to go with Morgan Rielly, or he can go with Jake Muzzin, or he can go here, or he can go there. We've got good defensive now. We've actually got a pretty solid defensive core. I don't think Dubas would be done. I think Dubas is going to try to see if he can weasel in a few more players. But the thing is, we've got, with that Clarkson trade, we're going to talk about that. We traded away Sparks. Excellent. We got back David Clarkson. He won't be jumping off the bench fighting anytime soon because he's on long-term injured reserve. He will never play again. He's in the same kind of boat as Nathan Horton is, because Nathan Horton has had, sadly, too many concussion issues, so he's never played, obviously. And David Clarkson is going onto that boat as well. He won't be playing. But, like, money, like, I do not want to get into all of that. That's a lot of money talk. I'm going to make a video on all of this. I'm going to make a video on the Marner and, like, the money talk. Hopefully, like, next week's video, I'm going to try to talk a bit more into the money side of things. I'm just trying to get over it because we haven't talked in a month. So I'm really trying to just skim across some certain things and really get it going. I'm going to move away from the Leafs now. I'm going to bring up some quick trades. We got Phil Kessel going to Arizona for Alex Galchenyuk. That is an absolute steal for Arizona. Pittsburgh wasn't even thinking. You've just lost a point-per-game player. That's on you. You've lost a point-per-game player. Alex Galchenyuk has not even performed as close to what he should be, as close to what he could, honestly. He hasn't performed close to that. And it's kind of annoying to watch because, like, everyone was like, oh, he's going to be solid, he's going to be great. Crickets. Like, he's done not as close to what he should have at all. It's disappointing, and based on all those stats, based on how he's done in his career so far, Arizona getting a guy like Phil Kessel, their ticket sales have absolutely skyrocketed, and I think that Arizona got an absolute steal. Phil Kessel, I think Phil Kessel will fit good in that locker room. I think Phil Kessel will perform well in front of those fans. I think he's going to perform well with that team. Him and Clayton Keller on the power play, man, oh my goodness. That is going to be an absolute... With how close Arizona got to making the playoffs last year, adding Phil Kessel, they're going to get Antti Raanta back, who was injured all season, and they're going to have Darcy Kemper, who played absolutely stellar, coming up from being a backup. Him and Antti Raanta, if they play as solid as a tandem as honestly they both played individually, if they played that again, but as a tandem, that's going to be that. The Arizona Coyotes are going to be a bit of a sleeper lethal team, honestly. I think they're really they're going to move their way up the ladder. I think they'd I think they'd make the playoffs next year. If all goes to plan, I think they make the playoffs next year. I think there's a few teams next year that do not make the playoffs that made the playoffs this year. I really do. I don't think Columbus is going to make the playoffs next year. They literally traded away their team. They traded away Artemi Panarin, Sergei Bobrovsky, who's already gone. Sergei Bobrovsky was already gone. Artemi Panarin, also gone. They've traded away their team. They traded away Keith Kincaid, their backup goaltender. They traded away everyone. You go there, and you go there, you go there, and you go there. They've got nobody there. They've got no team. Their team is literally all of the exciting players that really exciting players will make your team better. We know this. All of you who are watching this podcast, if you watch hockey for a while, if you are a Leafs fan or if you're any team fan, I want you to think what would happen if your star player wasn't a part of that team. I really want you to think about, or your star players, plural, wasn't a part of your team. I don't care if you're a Bruins fan, if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan, if you're a Canadiens fan, I don't care what kind of fan you are. I want you to sit there for 1 second and think about what would happen if your star player wasn't there. Especially you, Boston. If you guys didn't have Bergeron, Pastrnak, and Marchand, bro, you wouldn't have anybody. You'd have Chara, but Chara's 42. He's an absolute beast, but he can only do so much. If you didn't have your first line, Boston, you wouldn't be anywhere. Honestly, come on. You have your first line and that's it. We made it to the Stanley Cup final. Your team didn't. Yeah. But, if you didn't have your first line, the boys wouldn't be as gelled. Come on. If you didn't have your first line, you'd be nowhere. But I'm not going to... I could scream about the Boston Bruins all day. Marchand's still probably crying. But getting back to the mature point at hand, without star players, your team isn't even close. Your team will struggle. Columbus is going to struggle. Columbus shouldn't be looking at the playoffs. They should be looking at, can we get the lottery pick? Now, of course, knowing my luck, sometimes it's going to be more of those things where it's Columbus makes the playoffs, sweeps Tampa Bay again, moves on with a bunch of pickups. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Stranger things have happened, honestly. Vegas was made up of a bunch of guys teams didn't want anymore, and they made it to the final. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Obviously, in this video, I haven't talked about as much as maybe I've wanted to, but we've got 20 minutes to cover a month. Kevin Hayes obviously got traded to got traded to Philadelphia. What am I saying? He did get traded to Winnipeg, but then he got traded to Philadelphia. And then he signed $7 million and change, and that's crazy. That's a lot of money that I don't think people thought he was worth, but I don't know what to tell you. That's just how much he got paid. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I don't think he's worth $7 million per, but that's how much he got paid. New York added several very, very, very key players. Tyler Myers obviously going to New York. That's going to be a big pickup for them. Pavelski went to the Stars. Just recently, Vasilevsky signed long-term with the Tampa Bay Lightning. James Reimer didn't come back to Toronto. He went to Carolina. Perry went to the Stars. It's been an absolutely crazy month. I will see you guys next week. Thank you very much for watching. Click a like if you like. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Thank you very much.